bring it all together, and it becomes zero. So here, as a franchise, they've been copying you. They make copies of the original copyright, and they say, well, you need this, you need this, you need this, so we need this amount of money. And you're asking for them to protect you all this time, and you're initiating all of this steps, every bit of the steps. So from now on, you say, no, I don't want you to protect me. I'm the executor. I will administer my estate. I don't want your hospital. I don't want your insurance. I don't want your Social Security. I don't want your retirement. I just want what's mine since 1666. Stop protecting me. And you claim that you're I am. You have to go back to being I am, because your physical state was apparent, and now you're making it apparent before you got the legal name. You already existed as to your physics before they named you, before they turned you hypothecated. It's called hypothecation. Before they hypothecated you, you were a physical entity already. You were already being. And then they told you what to be, because as a vessel, they were then able to fill you up with the Constitution. That's what the Constitution is. The Bill of Rights is a bill in the nature of a Bill of Reviver stemming from the Cestui Que Vie Act. And what it says is, yes, you're a prisoner of war. Okay, we're going to hold you. We're going to maintain you and protect you and everything else. But you're only equal to the other prisoners of war. Every man is created equal. Well, man is a legal creation. Before you were told you were a man and told you have a penis, you already knew you had a penis. And you already existed.
Now, some of the stuff you're listening to, Tami, it looks like some Kurt Kallenbach stuff.
Right. The forgiveness doc is Kurt. And then all I did was kind of put in a couple words that he needed help with. But other than that, that's his. And it's just the most beautiful document I've ever seen. And once you forgive yourself, you have to enter into your own house. You will have to be your own house. You have to be the king. No more asking them to protect you, because they've been the patriarch. You're patronizing the father. That father is protecting you. And Jesus said, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And nobody listened. Everybody went to that father and they said, oh, help me, help me. I need Social Security. I need you to help me. Insure me, insure me. Well, insurance, you're the guarantee. You've always been the guarantee. As a sheriff, you're the guarantee. So every time you insure something, like say you take out life insurance, they're going to do their best to kill you. You're paying them to kill you.
Huh.
You're telling them, please kill me. Here, I have this amount for you. Or you have medical insurance. That's the most disgusting. If you buy medical insurance, you're guaranteeing that you get sick. They will make you sick. That's how they derive revenue from your person.
So you've talked to Kurt about this? You guys in unison with this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been with Kurt the last month or so, and we've been working through this and writing and writing and writing. So once I came together with Kurt, he's not here right now, but we kind of got everything where it needed to be.
Oh, so you're in the area that he's at, huh? So I say yep. I can bring him in here if you want.
He's busy. I tried to call him earlier.
Yeah, but he probably didn't answer because it was you. See if I can get him. Let me try him here. I don't know if Colin knows him or not. Colin, do you know Kurt?
The person you have called is unavailable.
Yeah, he's not available.
No,
I don't think I do.
Oh, he's got some good stuff. I've been with Kurt now, 4 or 5 years. He does a talk show also, but he was burnt out here for a while. He's beat him up too, like they do all of us.
Not burnt out. He has the next documentary will be done this week, and we're finally finalizing things where everybody can actually breathe now.
He wrote a book. I sent it out to everybody. It was very, very popular.
Right.
Well, it sounds
he's
like
an amazing soul.
This actually conforms to. See, that's the problem when you have a Jack Bauer and a Mike Golden in the same room. They fight with each other all the time. So Tam, that makes a whole lot of sense. But you're saying it's kind of along the lines of, what I've been saying. Kind of along the lines is the same thing. Is that the Cestui Que Vie, you make your claim that you're alive. And you need to make sure that you file it properly. And once then you can take it. Until you do that, you cannot do any of these other processes because you're still dead.
Right. Right. You never appear. And that's what it says in Bouvier. If you never appear, it's the same thing as you don't exist. It says in Bouvier, de non apparentibus et non existentibus eodem est ratio. The rule is the same respecting things that do not appear and things that do not exist. You never exist. You can go to court all you want, but they're administrating you as your estate because you're never alive. So they can do whatever they want to you, and you don't have a claim against them because they're your administrator. And then it goes into you where you have the claim. Now the attorney is called a gestor. Let me get my notes here. And we've known that for a long time. But as the gestor of your estate, you do have a claim against the gestor. Let me get it.
Well, that's who we need to go after, is that freaking gestor.
Absolutely. Because here they are, they're maintaining as your protector, and that's what we've been doing. Is the court, because you're a thing, you're considered basically an infant because you haven't appeared, you're dead or you're infirm or deficient in some manner. The court becomes your fiduciary trust. Now, there's a trust relationship that's supposed to be that's required during that time. And if that trust isn't there, what happens? They've broken the trust, so you have to be able to step out of that contract at some point.
Tammy and Colin. Tammy, Colin, I've got a friend of mine I had on the show with me Saturday. He's an attorney, but he's a defrocked attorney. They threw him out of the state of Texas. They won't let him do anything there. They defrocked him, and he's into this kind of stuff. Can I bring him in on this, please?
What do you think, Colin?
He's a good guy. He's one of us, and he's a God-fearing, and he's really trying to learn this stuff. He really is.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second.
Give him a shot.
All right, hold on. I'm going to bring him in here.
That if he does anything improper,
he won't. I think you'll like him. You'll like this guy. Again, he's already. They defrocked him because he was kicking their butt so bad down in Texas. 6.
Well, any attorney that's defrocked is actually becomes a normal person again, right?
Yep.
Particularly if they did not use any Vaseline, then we said he is one of us.
Right.
You're going to like this guy, so hang on a second here. Add to the group. All right, here we go. His name's Charles Lincoln III.
Hello?
Charles.
I'm here.
Hey, Charles, I got a couple of dear friends on the line here. I've been talking about you in good terms. This is my very brilliant friends, Tami Pepperman and my friend Colin Derrick.
Hi.
Colin's in, where are you at, Colin?
I'm on Maryland right now.
Yeah, Maryland's back in.
Yeah, I'm on Maryland right now.
And I've been telling him how you've been defrocked and all that stuff, and you're one of us, a good guy. So anyway, Tami, go ahead with what you were saying, and because I'm telling you, Charles here, he understands a lot of what you're talking about, and he's along with us in this. So go ahead, Tami.
So what you're doing is you've got management of affairs is called negotiorum gestio. And that one is you become the negotiable instrument as the attorney is trading you back and forth. Okay, they're your managers. So when you get over to the attorney relationship, the negotiorum gestio, they do not exist if the gestor acted self-interestedly or if the owner expressly forbade the gestor from acting on the owner's behalf. So you have to prove life. And you have to say, no, you're no longer my administrator. That's what the forgiveness doc is. You have to forgive yourself as the debtor and become the creditor as well. So you zero everything out and you say, no more administering me. I'm alive. The court does not even exist. That's the thing that's so hard to comprehend for most people. It only takes one person to prove life, one, and then the court no longer exists because it's always a fiction of law.
Well, Tammy, we brought him in kind of in the middle of this. Could you give a quick recap of what we're doing and what you're doing and how you're doing it and what's transpired? I'm sorry to ask you to go over it. I tried to bring him in earlier or talk to him earlier, but there was no answer, and I've just got him now. So if you wouldn't mind, so he kind of understands what we're talking about here.
Well, basically the Cestui Que Vie Act is a motion to show cause life. All this time, the attorney has used attorney work product doctrine to shuffle any and all evidence onto the court record. So you don't have any evidence. You have exhibits and testimony and hearsay and all this bullshit. So you're allowing an administrative procedure. You are allowing it because you're not putting any evidence on the court record. Once you admit on the court record admission statements that you're alive on evidence and you appear by the evidence, do not go into the court. You have to appear by the evidence. You're proving evidence. You're making evident that you're alive. Okay, then you have to appoint yourself as the executor of your estate because only a living person can be the executor of the dead. So you're taking your dead estate, you're forgiving its debt, you're forgiving everything, and then you're the administrator. You have to be God on this one. No more letting the attorney tell you that you're not God. Okay, they're perverting your word. They're perverting your word by telling you that you're not God, so they've taken away your will. You have no will. There's no will. There's no intent on any of the court records. There's nothing on court record. And when you put evidence on the court record, what are you compelling? You're compelling a judge to be there, so that becomes your court. It's no longer administrative procedure. It's no longer legal process. In legal process, you're being processed. You're the thing being processed.
Have you tried this out on any judges yet?
Absolutely. In Michigan recently, in Oceana County, we just indicted them. The attorney ended up rolling over on his own client. He admitted to the larceny by trick, larceny by extortion, larceny of lost, mislaid, and delivered goods. He admitted to it, and then we came back in as the king and said, we want my shit from the bishop. You have to do the claim on the bishop. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything. So you have to claim that you're the king, you're God. You have to show your life and appear on court record, upon it. You don't appear below it or understand anything. You have to appear upon the court and before the court. So you're before the court existed, there was God. Your physics existed before the court existed or before an attorney sanctioned you. And then you've got to come in on the writ of fieri fascis de bonis ecclesiasticis. It's a writ of execution, and you have to make that claim against the bishop. And what that'll do is it claims title to trust. It claims the MERS account, the Municipal Employees Retirement Securities account. You have to do the claim against the corporation. Because otherwise, if you don't do that claim, how are you going to claim it? Because they're no longer in that jurisdiction. If you're maintaining your court, you have to bring them into your jurisdiction now, under your authority, jurisdiction. The ability to write the law. This is your law.
I've got all that.
Say that again.
I couldn't hear that last time.
I've got all that paperwork and that she's talking about. I'll get a copy to you.
Right.
Do you have any transcripts of how this dialogue played out with judges?
Excuse me?
I'd love to see some transcripts of how judges react to this. Do you have any transcripts of how this played out before judges?
No, what happens is they're doing it in chambers. They're trying to keep it quiet, and they're killing each other. I couldn't figure out why they're killing each other, but that's according to Geneva Convention. Once you call them to the table and you say, hey, this is larceny by trick, extortion, blah, 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 criminal coercion, criminal contempt of court. Once you do that, they gig my client right away, and they kill the attorney. They kill whoever you went against or whoever they picked to be the fall guy. And that's according to Geneva Convention of 1929. Nobody's allowed to abuse you as a prisoner of war. You have no government. Here you are patronizing the corporation, but the corporation is not allowed to put you in prison. They're not allowed to change your rank. They're not allowed to torture you or anything else. And if they do, they're to be executed within 3 months. And we've been seeing that within 2 weeks they kill them. But that's what Jesus said, let the dead bury their own dead. He said let them cannibalize each other, so we are. I have no compunction against this. I could care less what they do to each other. As long as they leave the living human being alone, they can do whatever they want, and they are. They're like hyenas pulling each other apart.
Which is exactly why we have, so the people who understand where we are in history understand clearly that we have to do something about it because a cancer will eat its host, and it'll kill its host, and it'll itself.
And see, Jesus did not teach forgiveness against harm upon a person. He did not teach forgiveness for harm upon God's children. He taught forgiveness for financial crimes. He specifically said, for those that maintain harm upon the children, be it better that you have a millstone hung about your neck and you be tossed back into the sea. And that's what we're doing. We're hanging the burden right back on them. When you indict them for larceny, for criminal coercion, for criminal contempt of court, blah, 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 you're wrapping that millstone around their neck and tossing them into their own sea, S-E-E. Here you are, you're just feeding them to each other. I could care less, and that's what Jesus said. He believed in compassionate justice. You have to remove the harm from community. Otherwise, it festers. I mean, look at this society. This society is becoming psychopathic because these attorneys are maintaining it. Everything is politically correct. Well, that's good for politics, but within psychopathy, it's not good for humanity. You have to get rid of the psychopathy. And that's what Jesus was teaching, compassionate justice. Let them kill each other. We never have to lift a finger. I didn't have to lift a finger in this one. That attorney hung himself. We went after the judge, Judge Drake. He took his off and filed his shit over into a separate file. He ordered the clerk to file his indictment in a separate file, and then he put